What's going on, guys? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from everyone who around the world who is tuning into this. I go by the name of Institutional J, and today I'm going to be bringing you a new crypto market outlook. Okay, so we don't really do this for YouTube, in regards to just giving regular updates on the crypto market because that's not really our main thing. Our main thing is forex and other asset classes, but I've decided to give this some attention in regards to just giving an update, okay? Because majority of the times we do update it is within our Discord community, so we don't really post for the YouTube. So what we decided to do is just going into 2022, let's provide another outlook, okay? We done so last year within, I think it was 2021 summertime, okay? I can't remember roughly what time, but that was the last time we kind of done a visual video update on what is kind of unfolded in our thoughts. Okay, so a lot of people probably wondering what do we think about it. I've definitely got a lot of messages on social media regarding what are your thoughts, and everyone is kind of in two minds. So in regards to some people, but I know people that are bullish right now, I know people that are still bearish. So I just want to kind of break down what I believe is kind of unfolding in the markets at the moment, and then what you don't want to do and take from it, is what you want to take from it. So just going into it is that you have to understand Bitcoin of course, because it's kind of the leading asset within this class. And in doing so, you're going to understand what it kind of means for the rest of the markets and the altcoins especially, okay? So breaking down Bitcoin is going to be the main thing. I will cover what Ethereum's looking like and XRP, okay? We do cover, like I said, the rest of majority of the actual cryptos available to us, but it's mainly in the Discord, okay? It's normally on request from someone within our community. If we was to cover everything on YouTube, we'd be making videos all the time, and it's not really what we want to do and divert our attention to. So again, starting with Bitcoin, right? Now, we've been very, very bearish since the last start of the last year, and going into this year, it's kind of continued, okay? So looking at the monthly chart, since making all-time highs, excuse me one sec, let me just bring that out. Since making all-time highs, okay, end of last year, November, we've been on a downfall, okay, downturn and whatnot. We've not seen any bullish momentum pick up since the end of the last year once it's made that all-time high, okay? So pretty bearish just from that perspective, okay? And then coming into the weekly chart, and what my thoughts were in regards to potential areas we could get a pump up from, is kind of where price is at now, regarding this area here. Okay, this area was on my agenda in terms of getting a movement out of it, which we kind of did, but to no avail in terms of it becoming a failed rally. Okay, so where we thought price could potentially boost back up, after sliding so much, there's no reason why it couldn't have retested higher prices, a lot higher than this anyway, higher prices, and liquidate people who were shorting in much higher areas as well. We didn't quite get that. Not saying it's not possible, because this area still hasn't been breached. It's actually still within this area, but some of the rejections we've been getting after attempting to rally, they're not really the best indicators to say that it's going to do that. But again, we are kind of just ranging off of, once we actually came to that weekly candle, we kind of started this range that we're in at the moment. So again, it's not in saying that we can't now rally up to that higher areas to liquidate shorts. It's just what we're seeing from a volume perspective isn't really enticing me in to think that, yeah, we could actually start seeing some buys happen, okay, or buys occur. We do have a target here nonetheless that was kind of created in the last month, where we got some equal highs that could easily be targeted, okay? Definitely can be targeted to liquidate people who are shorting from this area. So that is a possibility for sure. But do we think in terms of the long-term picture, we are now going to anticipate a bull run and so forth? And, when it comes to crypto, and why we don't, another reason why we don't focus on doing it weekly or monthly or things like that is because it's a long-term picture. We always look at things in terms of, is it bullish long term? That's kind of where it is with crypto. We don't really care about short term, week to week moves, because realistically, I'm not a leverage trader when it comes to cryptocurrency, so I don't look at it like that. This is purely for investment perspective and investment perspective only. So when I say I'm bullish or I'm bearish, that is based on the long-term picture, okay? So anything over uh, a month to a quarter, that is, you know, the long-term outlook of what I see. And right now, I'm still bearish on it based off of that alone, because what we have been seeing with price action is just not been convincing, in my opinion, that bulls are now entering the market. And realistically, you know, it's a dangerous game to suggest or assume in the cryptocurrency world when you are leverage trading, because you're talking about stop losses over 1,000 pips. Okay, and you know that's just nothing to really play with. 1,000 pips going from 39K to, let's say, 40K, it could do that in an hour. It could do that in one candle. So you got to be really understanding of that, and understand if you are going to play that game, if you need to be correct about the trend that you are in. And right now, this is trending downwards. We are making lower lows and lower highs. There is no breaches of structure in terms of what we're seeing when we're coming to these areas. The structure is still intact to the downside. So we have to, you know, what we want, we have to separate what we want to happen and what is actually happening. And what you'll find with crypto Twitter, especially, um, there's just a lot of assumptions there, and it's a lot of uneducated ones at that. So social media, take it lightly when it comes to cryptocurrency, because a lot of people on there want what they want to happen. And realistically, none of them really know how to look at a chart and actually break down a chart from a technical perspective. So you got to be careful with what you're actually taking in and what people are suggesting. Like we saw last year, just for instance, I'll give you an example with Bitcoin. A lot of people, CEOs at that, you know, saying Bitcoin can easily go to 100K this year. That was what they were saying last year. None of that it's all hearsay, okay, based off of just, you know, people saying that. And a lot of people in the crypto industry will take that for not, I don't want to say gospel, but they'll say, yeah, look, this CEO said that and that CEO said this, and they'll run with it and make from it what they will, in terms of, yeah, this is going to moon, or this is a great time to invest. And honestly, I'm not a financial advisor, excuse me, and none of those guys are either. So you need to be careful with who you're actually taking your information in from, okay? Because it's very important, because it could lead you to being in massive amounts of drawdown where you're just going to have to sit through it and ride tight without knowing when price is going to come back up because you bought it too high. We're not in the business of buying prices at you know, once they've rocketed and done their thing. You got to now wait for the next move. And what people don't understand within the crypto world is it is a long game. The moves are, you got to be patient. Once it's moved, you've already missed it. You can't be FOMOing in, because with these assets, you don't know what is happening. So just going off of that, just a bit of friendly advice for people that are thinking about investing or have already invested. You got to think about the decisions you're making or have made already and what it was based off of, because we're not in the business of, I don't want to say, you know, because we don't know what's going to happen to 100%, but we're not in the business of wrongfully telling people and advising them to say prices are at a good point from a technical perspective, when knowing when we are not. So like I said, the structure for me is still bearish. There's nothing really indicating for me to say Bitcoin is back on for the bull run. Okay, that's probably, again, when people probably watch this, they're probably going to disagree and say the bull run's here because they've seen a couple green candles push to the upside. Doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things of what we're seeing, right? We don't think it's ready. I don't think it's ready because, in my opinion, excuse me, we set a target last, I think it was in June, and it was 28, just under 29,000 to be achieved, and that is still the long-standing target that has not been whacked. So clearly, this is a key area. It's a key level for sure, 29,000. I do think this is going to be liquidated for the simple fact there's going to be a lot of people leverage trading with stop losses in and around this area. That's a given. That's just from looking at the chart, I can see that. So when I'm having conversations with people, or people are messaging me and they're saying, yeah, I feel like the bull run's on, or, you know, my indicator is showing me this. Honestly, I don't care what your indicator is showing you, because price action is showing me that I don't think it's ready. So when we look at the daily, and then we come down to, you know, 4-hour charts and stuff like that, you know, if we just take it from a neutral perspective and look at the picture for what it is, right? What are we seeing in terms of giving us confidence to say we're now bullish? And when I mean bullish, I mean overall picture bullish, right? Because even if you're looking at 4 hour, it's not really that big of a picture. Let's look at the daily, okay? We had a mitigation here. The volume wasn't really great, and then we did get a push to the upside, okay? It was then met with a move back down to the same area again. Then we got another push to the upside. So, you know, just from being a technical trader and understanding the charts, if we are to see a sustained bullish move, we need to see something in terms of this area be breached, right? In terms of structure actually closing above this area, giving us a higher high at least. We don't have none of that. So we have to assume this is still a bear market in that regard, because until we are getting higher highs, higher lows made, why are we assuming that this is bullish all of a sudden? Okay, it's the wrong thing to assume, in my opinion. We shouldn't be thinking of it like that. So when we are looking at the market from a neutral perspective, with no bias included, this is a bear market. I don't care what anyone on social media is saying. We are in a bear market regarding Bitcoin, right? So take that in. Like, I actually understand what I'm saying here. This isn't me having an agenda against Bitcoin or anything of that. This is just, I don't think it's ready. Okay, I don't think it's ready, because for me, I don't feel like, let's say we were to be bullish, I don't think they're just going to allow all of these people to start riding price all the way up again without being liquidated. But that's just my opinion. I don't feel like that is what they're necessarily going to do. If we are to become bullish, I would think, which would make sense to me personally, is to see price come and wipe this area out, right? Wipe these lows out here as well, and liquidate everyone who's actually buying this. Yeah. Leverage trading, not so much buying it and holding. I'm just talking about the leverage traders. I want to see those liquidated, because then once this area is broken, right, we're going to see an influx of sellers thinking it is now very, very, very bearish, right, which it already has been very, very, very bearish. But we're going to see the influx of people thinking, yeah, this is going to keep going to the downside, right? That is when you'll start to see, in my opinion, again, this isn't a fact, but that is when you'll start to see maybe the bullish run start to happen. Because once everyone is liquidated, who's going to start buying those liquidated positions? That's what you got to start thinking about, okay? So from a neutral perspective, again, I think we still got some more downside movement to come. So right now, market isn't really showing anything. It's still holding this area. We are in a range. You know, even if we go up here again and liquidate this area above now, okay, I would understand that, because, you know, sellers are clearly getting in within this area too. So are we going to allow, bearing in mind, like, if we look at the daily again, right, if we are seeing sellers get in this potential area here, right, and they're thinking about the picture of what I'm showing in terms of, yeah, we could at least see it come down to these lows here, it would make sense, because that's a hell of a move, by the way, in terms of a pip count. It would make sense for them to maybe warrant trying to get those sellers out first and then actually selling it back down to the area themselves. So just because it moves up, it's going to be very, I'm going to be looking at it from a perspective of how is it actually looking, in terms of, are we just seeing one massive candle do it, or are we seeing an accumulation in terms of a structure and a pattern form to actually get back up there? So I'm not worried. I'm not ruling out that we get above here, but it's in the manner that we get above here, and is it a sustainable one? Okay, because I remember when I think it was 2 weeks ago when Bitcoin flew up here, and I actually had an alert within this area. But what mattered the most to me was how it closed. Okay, so because I remember it's at like 38,000, the next thing I saw was at 44,000. I was like, wow, okay, it's done quite a big move. But then how it closed actually meant a lot in regards to actually how you're going to view the market. So we had some equal highs here, which, you know, it ran up to and took those out. After taking those out, we then pulled back all the way to the bottom again. So that doesn't look like bullish behavior, right? That is not what bullish behavior is going to do. And when you actually, you know, take the picture in and understand it, bullish behavior is, if it is going to be bullish, where's the sustain? I don't see anything being sustained. Okay, so even if we get, let's say, a run up here, which we got in terms of up, down, okay, so where's the up? There hasn't been that, right? Instead, once it came to that specific area, look at this volume here. It's pathetic. That isn't a sign of that there's, the bull's taking over. That's not a great sign whatsoever. So bear in mind, I don't care what your indicator is telling you. Don't care what your trend line's telling you. What is the price telling you? All right. Price here is it's pathetic. Like I said, there's nothing there for me to go off to say, yeah, and give me confidence to say, yeah, the bulls are in. So take the picture for what it is, and then, react accordingly. So right now, again, we are in a range. Not saying this is, the move to back up here is invalidated, because we are within this range. It could even retest this candle again for all we know. But just looking at this area is very sensitive for, in terms of rejections that we're getting, is very sensitive. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls down, leaves that, goes for the target below, and then, once you start to see patterns showing, bullish intention, you now have targets. Well, leverage traders especially now have targets to actually get out at. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in regards to looking at the chart. Yeah, so with Bitcoin, that's kind of what my outlook is. I will move to Ethereum and Ripple in a sec, but that is my outlook. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm making this video today is because, reading crypto Twitter at times is quite unbearable, in the sense of it just comes, it's a bit of a lost community. I don't want to say a bit, actually, it is a lost community, and that's not really just being disrespectful. I just mean in terms of what I'm seeing from people express themselves in terms of what they think is going to happen. I've had people tell me, fundamentally this is happening, that is happening, right? And not even really just Bitcoin as well. I've seen a lot of XRP people, I've had conversations with, and they said, "Raw, this is what's happening with partnerships, with this bank, that bank, international, this, whatever," and it's still gone down. So take it with a pinch of salt. No one is a specialist in terms of price action. A lot of crypto Twitter don't even know how to trade. They don't even know how to read a chart. So you have to understand that realistically, those are not the people you want to be taking advice from. And I'm not saying I'm the person you should be taking advice from either, but from a technical perspective, I will be able to show you certain things that actually check out. That's the difference, okay? And that's just through studying charts, studying price action, and understanding that, yeah, in terms of what happens with the market, it's already premeditated, in terms of it's already planned on where it's going to go. So a lot of people can't fathom that, because they seem to think, when certain fundamental announcements happen, all of a sudden we should see price reflect, and that's not the case. Apparently, Bitcoin was good for, when wars break out. Bitcoin was supposed to be good for that. So why has it not gone up? Gold has gone up tremendously, but Bitcoin, we're not seeing the same thing. So I thought it was a safe haven. I thought it was a hedge against inflation. These are all of the things that I see online, where it's like, clearly you're just talking out of your ass, talking BS. Because it doesn't check out. So if it did check out, I would agree, but I don't agree, because what people have said in terms of, this is a safe asset. Show me where's the proof of it being a safe asset? Because all I've seen is it drop over 60%. So what's going on? And that's just, you know what I mean? You have to actually question things. So again, let's move to Ethereum, because I'll be talking about Bitcoin all day. It's mimicking the chart, in my opinion, in regards to just looking at the weekly. We've seen price break down again towards the end of the year and keep dropping. We've seen price come into a specific area here. It's had a little boost, but it's a failed rally. We haven't seen higher highs made and sustained. Kind of in a range as well, in terms of we haven't had a new low made or nothing like that, but we haven't also seen a new high made, and the volume is clearly to the downside. So it's mimicking Bitcoin in that sense, in regards to, you do have potential targets where people that are leveraged selling are getting in. So here, price could potentially rally up there. That does not necessarily mean it's bullish. It all depends on closures. Closures of candles are very important. And don't feel like you're going to miss the move or miss an opportunity, because it's not. You just need to be you need more information to be a bit more certain in your decision. But if we do see the rally up, again, you're going to have leverage buyers here, leverage buyers here. You go on the weekly, same thing. right? Lows here, you got lows here. So this wick didn't happen. I don't know why this data feed on Kraken is showing me this, but that's just a reminder for me that that didn't actually occur. There's no reason why we can't see below $1,600 on Ethereum. No reason whatsoever. If anything, I'm actually looking to see $1,200 before looking to potentially invest in this myself, right? Because I feel like that is the best opportunity for me. People might feel like prices now are a good opportunity, and so be it. I wouldn't disagree that this would have been a good area to buy. But are you buying for the long term, or are you buying just to get it to, to make a nice percentage and then maybe sell some of your tokens? It really depends on how you're looking at it. But for me, crypto is always going to be a long term asset. Okay, I'm not really into leverage trading. There's a great opportunity in it, but I'm not into leverage trading. It doesn't suit my style. So just looking at this again, it's kind of mimicking Bitcoin. I do think, if Bitcoin definitely goes below that 29,000, this is going to come way below this too. And that's just, as the chart is looking similar, it's a given that I believe it's going to do that. So I don't think the opportunity to invest in this is just yet. I could be wrong, but the chart isn't showing me that I'm wrong. In my opinion, it's not. There's nothing here for me to say, yeah, the bull run is on. So I'm just not really with the, getting caught up in the hysteria. I try and keep myself to myself. I give my opinions where I can, and within our community, I'm very vocal about what my opinion is. So that's all I can really say for it. Last but not least, let's just go through XRP and see it for what it is. So if we look at this picture here again, a bit more of a range. If I go on the daily, actually, we got a bit more of a big range happening on XRP. Okay, so we got these lows here. We got this higher here. I did think we would get up to around the 148 level, just because, that was an area of interest to potentially sell, but we didn't quite get there towards, fourth quarter last year, and we kind of broke down. So just looking at it again, we are waiting to actually enter this market again for the long term again, because last year we entered this market going into 2021. Saw some great profits off of it, took out most of the profits, and now we're just sitting on the sidelines ever since. Okay, so I believe that this, again, if we are to go long and see prices go long, whether it be the SEC lawsuit that finally gets settled, that kind of is the catalyst, even when that gets settled, or, we see some of these partnerships that apparently are going to moon price that I keep hearing about, I don't believe that's going to happen until these leverage traders are taken out. Okay, so there's something you have to understand about liquidity and liquidation. That is what moves the market. If you don't understand that is what is moving the market, I'm sorry, you don't know about trading. It's as simple as that. So all of your indicators telling you this is happening and that is happening, you're being lied to, right? So again, I believe if we go on the daily, we are in a massive range at the moment, right? I think these long-standing positions from last year, if we're going to get long, I thought we was going to see it at the start of the year, but we didn't, because I was actually prepared to, get my investment ready at the start of the year, but we didn't. So if you imagine since the start of the year, we've seen this price run up, how many people that's given confidence to now start buying at this price, all of this, in my opinion, needs to get liquidated. That's just what I see. All right. So there's liquidations up here that haven't been, in terms of people that was getting in for sales, they haven't been liquidated. So they're having fun at the moment, but we are clearly bearish in that regard. So we have to take that on board. Look at this price action in regards to what we're seeing from a potential bull run, right? Let's just look at it from the start of this year. Apart from this, we've had this, right? That was kind of this year, okay? Look, it could have been an accumulation phase after taking out this low. Cool, we rallied up. Where's the sustainability in that regard in terms of sustaining higher prices? I can't see it. So when you take that into context and you look at the chart for what it is, not what you want it to be, keep saying that, but it's relative. It's relevant to what I'm saying. Like, you need to understand that, right? The price action in terms of the bigger moves are clearly to the downside, right? You got these up moves here and you get slams, right? You got up moves here. We haven't had a slam yet, but we haven't had a sustained move, right? So the bears are still in control. Looking at when you factor in the Bitcoin chart as well, like the bears are clearly still in control. So I'm looking to see uh, what's it called? Below 50 cents on this, and then we could start thinking about, and that's not to say as soon as it touches 50 cents, it's gonna start mooning, but that's the minimum that would be of interest to me to start investing in this again. Okay, I'm actually looking below that as well, but when price gets there and as price gets there is when I start to decide further. But you got to take the full picture into consideration and not just one or two candles that are upwards, or a week where it's retraced and it's closed on a bullish candle. Like that doesn't mean things are turning bullish, right? Just go with the trend. There's nothing here to suggest the trend has changed. Unfortunately, people will probably say that, you know, your outlook's negative or your outlook isn't pro crypto. Like, I'm very pro crypto. Believe me, I am so, like, but I have to be realistic. Otherwise, I'll be buying with everyone else at stupid prices, and that's just not really a sustainable winning formula. So that's kind of my outlook, guys. I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of these three assets in the crypto. Um, I'll try and bring you more. I'm a bit on the fence. If you want me to bring you more, leave a comment in the bottom there. We'll be sure to try and see, you know, if it's necessary, if the demand is there. But the demand within the Discord is enough, in my opinion, to kind of keep up with. So that's kind of always going to be my focus, is the Discord community. Okay, if you want access to the Discord community, head over to litcapital.co.uk right now. And give us an inquiry. Contact us and say you want access. It's a £25 a month subscription fee, and you get access to all our charts from crypto to forex as well, to stocks. A lot of value in there. Okay, come and join the community if you want and you enjoyed this video and this breakdown. Okay, but I'm gonna leave you with that, guys. It's been a pleasure. Stay safe. Remember, every day is money day. Peace.